Testing one, one, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, मेरे प्यारे भाई और बहनों, आप सभी का स्वागत है. Brothers and sisters, I want to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you and to greet you. Sahib Bandagi, Assalamu alaikum, Namaskar, and a pleasant good evening to each and every one of you. On behalf of the Das family and devotees of our dear Guruji, it is my pleasure and delight to welcome each and every one of you to this evening program being held in commemoration of the first Punyatithi of our beloved Guruji, Mahant Devchand Das Ji Sahib. Here at the WaterTech Events Hall, an environment of such soothing and beautiful ambience. Special bandigi to WaterTech CEO, Suresh Ramdup. Brothers and sisters, at this juncture, in keeping with our traditions, it is customary that we ignite an auspicious light at the beginning of our programs. So I now call on Prem Sahib, Joy, Mom, and Sahib's great-grandchildren to assist in this item. As they set themselves up, I take this opportunity to share with you that in our Kabirpan tradition, the light of a diya is a symbol of what we call Chetna Prakash, or the light of consciousness within. Chetna means consciousness. So by lighting the diya, we are connecting the external light with the Chetna Prakash within. Through the lighting of this auspicious lamp, I would like to, on behalf of the planning committee of this program, convey best wishes to one and all on this special occasion. And may all devotees and well-wishers of Guruji take the time to do devotion and service in his name. And in remembrance, we now light the lamp to evoke the presence of Satguru Kabir Sahib, and let the following chant resonate in our hearts. Koti koti vandana Satguru, koti koti vandana hai, Gurugam Sagar, Guruji, koti koti vandana hai. I evoke you again and again, O Sadguru. Please accept our salutations. You are the boundless ocean of knowledge, O my Guru. I offer millions of salutations to you. So we'll now ask Mahant Hardev Dukram and Guru Mataji Mom to light this auspicious light, and Prem will chant our Guru Stuti. Bole Satguru Kabir Sahib ki jai.
सब विधि मुद मंगल करणम हरन शेष कलेश सत्य नाम सम नाम नहीं वरदायक वरदेश गुरु के सुमिरन मात्र से नाशक विघ्न अनंत कासे सर्वारंभ में ध्यावत है सब संत पूजा गुरु को कीजिए सब पूजा जही माही जब जल सींचे मूल करूं शाखा पत्र घाही बंदो चरण सरोज गुरु मुद मंगल आगार जही सेवत नर होत है भव सागर के पार बोलिए सद्गुरु कबीर साहिब की जय।
गुरु परमहंस दीक्षादास साहिब की जय। साहिब बंदगी, साहिब बंदगी, साहिब बंदगी।
पंच हजूर अर्धनाम साहिब की जय। मंत्री देवतंजा साहिब की जय। साहिब
बंदगी साहिब। Dear brothers and sisters, on June 19, 2022, our beloved Guruji Mahant Devchand Das Ji Sahib demitted his physical form and he transitioned onto the mortal plane, Amarlok, the deathless realm of complete and supreme bliss. This year, on June 19, will mark our Guruji's first Punyatithi, as per the Gregorian calendar. For the sake of convenience, we have all gathered here today, just ahead of the date, to commemorate Sahib's first Punyatithi with a simple program of honor, tributes, historical reflections, bhajans, and messages which represents flowers of love being offered at the Guru's lotus feet. Guru Charana Kamal Balihari. Brothers and sisters, at the onset, I would like to share some thoughts on this word, Punyatithi. In India, the anniversary of the ascension date of great acharyas, sants, sadhus and mahants is referred to as Punyatithi. And I just say it is really groundbreaking. This program, I think, is one of the first Punyatithi I am participating in and I've heard of. This is a compound Hindi word comprising two words, Punya and Tithi. Punya means merit and Tithi means date. Merits we are referring to are those intrinsic soul qualities such as truth, satagyan, love, peace, happiness, goodness, worthiness, virtue, humility, simplicity, purity, equal-mindedness, contentment, non-violence, compassion, mercy, selflessness, dispassion, and renunciation, just to name a few. These qualities are what we call karmatit. It means that they do not incur karma if you live by them, because they are a natural part of the soul. Sahib has taught us about the 16 qualities of the soul. Some of these represents what you call chorus ants. We usually, in our prayer, we say, Bandhu chorus ansako, I bow to these qualities. And those who engender these qualities become free from karma. When such soul emerge, their divine qualities become infused in the hearts and minds of the devotees, thus creating a net positive impact in the environment. Furthermore, the significance of such merits is that when a great being such as our Guruji and many others like him leave the world, their vast spiritual aura of influence and countless merits generated from nishkam karmas performed during their lifetime remain on earth for the benefit of their devotees and thousands of generations to come. In the Sanya part, there is a doha. Briksha kabahuna palavake, nadi na achave neer, paramarat ke karne, santanadhaya sharir. And what is saying? That the trees eat not of their own fruit, Nana, does the river drink of its own water? In the same way, the saints taking this human form, they come for the welfare of others. We use the word paramarat. Paramarat is that quality ascribed to Sadhguru Kabir Sahib and the saints, in that they live their entire life for the welfare of others. So we can say that our Sahib, as we knew him, he was a true Paramarati. These rare souls predicate their lives on the philosophy of Tera Bana Mitai Lage, sweet is thy will. And those who know, I think Professor Adish has a wonderful bhajan, Jo Teri Iksha Kar to me Bhagavan, me to das tumhara. Whatever be thy will, let me be a servant. So this is the hallmark of their lives, the philosophy of their living. Such merits, brothers and sisters, represents what you call invisible wealth that we all draw upon long after such souls leave the physical plane. We must know that Guru's grace is always with us, and we must believe that. We must experience that and feel that. So Punyatithi is not about any taboo surrounding the soul that has already ventured on its karmic journey. Neither is it an opportunity for exhibitionism related to Guru's work, but rather a glorification and exaltation of the vidhi, the methodology that Sahib has taught us, the vidhan, the disciplined practice or system of practice that represents the cornerstone of the labored edifice built for the devotees to stand fearlessly on and to draw strength from long after they have departed from this world. Without this, our lives will be dry and hard like a parched earth that craves raindrops. To this, we are eternally grateful to have had Sahib in our lives. He has given us so much. You know, in India, we visited India recently. This was my third time. Some of those who went up with us recently would have noted that we visited some of the samadhis where the acharyas took their last breath, those areas, and they built monuments and statues. And one time we had asked Hajur Sahib about this, and he said that if we don't do this, the generations will not have anything to hold on to remember that I am a Kabirpant. And this is the parampara which I came from. And I adore the way Hajur Sahib treats his guru, Udit Nam Sahib. When they have Punyatithi, he goes himself and prepares this large statue of where he had this samadhi. And he treated with so much love, prepared the arti. In Trinidad, I know of two samadhis, one of Jagara Sahib and one of Panda Sahib. And some work needs to be done at those locations. It is in state of ruin. So it's something that, a challenge I'm putting out here at this point in time. So this is why if we don't have Punyatithi and speak about the glory of our Guru and our Mahan Sahib, what they represented and the mark they left, the new generations will forget about everything. When I went there, I created a map in my mind for when we stood Namucharan, Adi Adaliya Chinta Purisha Munindra Karuna Me Kavi Suriti Yoga Santain Danim Dhamradas, Churamani Nam, Sudarshan Nam. We visited some of those samadhis, but these are acharyas who represent a part of the parampara. During the many hundreds of pravachan which I had the great fortune to listen to, Sahib would have made insightful pronouncements on the greatness of a true guru and a true disciple, which was the hallmark of what he presented to all the devotees. In this regard, you will often hear him say, the guru never dies, for he implants his immortality within the disciple. And these are Sahib words. These are words which I copied down many years ago while he was giving this course. The fact that I am standing here and can passionately speak lavishly in glorification of Sahib's timeless wisdom is sufficient testimony. Brothers and sisters, Sahib has ingrained in us the true essence of Guru Shishya Rahani, adapted ideally from the life of Dhani Dharmdas in his relation with Sadhguru Kabir Sahib. Guru Rahani, if you don't know, That word, when you take the Diksha mantra, that word is present there for all those who have taken the Diksha mantra. It is the covenant and the essence of the covenant between yourself and the Guru in the way you live your life and the knowledge that he imparts and that you have ingrained inside of you as a significant part of your constitution as a true devotee. And there are many, many things that we could mention, but not here, maybe in some future satsangs, if you join us. Brothers and sisters, the Guru Shishya connection Sahib had emphasized is the deep philosophy upon which our parampara is built, the disciplic succession from Sadguru Kabir Sahib, Dhani Dharmdas. He has exhorted that an understanding and appreciation of this is an indispensable prerequisite for the success of every Kabirpanthi worldwide. You will often hear him say, Panthi hai jo raah chale. He had these catchy expressions that I always pick up and it remains etched in my mind. So if you hear me doing a satsang and I recite, I say, my Guruji said that, you will know where I get it from. It is based on the depth and the span where he's coming from. Sahib's awareness of Hans Gawan. Hans Gawan is the path the soul has to take in this life and the life and whatever comes beyond. That the soul has to take within the physical realm as beyond and as well as beyond. This was his great adventure. And this was what fashioned his life and also became the central focus of all the satsangis who came under his tutelage. And most of them, a lot of them are here right now. In this regard, we would hear him say, Amara Lok se aaye bande. Here, Amara Pur jana hai. From Amara Lok I came from. And there I have to return, even when his last days. Surati se dekh le wohi desh, dikat dikan lage, mit gaye sakalan desh. He said with your surati, which was his strong point. He was the only man who really truly explained surati. He said, Sahib, what is surati? Explain it to me. And we delved, I spoke volumes on this, and I improved my understanding of it. And he said, with your surati, see that country. And by watching and watching and watching, the blindness goes away. But you have to use your surati and direct it correctly. So for the family members and devotees of Guruji, the anniversary of the ascension of this truly extraordinary Guru and Sadhu is a time of remembrance, gratitude, and deep spiritual reflection. For he was the one who made indelible marks on the psyche of so many devotees, both locally and abroad. This being said, this Punyatithi is a day of sacred celebration, and therefore the family and devotees has invited us to share in these moments with them. So please enjoy today's offerings, which represent the magnanimity of influence of this great ambassador of Sadguru Kabir Sahib, who came and left us with bountiful blessing. Boliye Sadguru Kabir Sahib ki jai, Panchri Hajur Arjanam Sahib ki jai, Guru Bhar Mahadev Chandra Sahib ki jai. So brothers and sisters, we will now move on to some lighter moments and leave the serious talk a little bit. Sometimes, I have a disclaimer. You give me the talk, I talk whole night about Sahib. So at this moment, we will have our first bhajan. And this bhajan, I will ask Shamu, Prem and Ankit to take the stage. So you can have the two mics, right? And this bhajan is Koi Suntagi Guru Gyani. And I have to admit, I selected this bhajan for a particular purpose, because my mind is always on those things that Sahib taught. We are having this Punyatithi to glorify the greatness of this Guru and what he has left us with, the mark that he has left. So he says, is there any, Sahib translate this is Sahib's translation. When I read Sahib translation, I mentioned this is he who translated this. Is there any Guru-wise disciple listening to the sound of the voice within? The voice which originates from the inner sky? This bhajan highlights the features of the pathway encountered in what you call Surat Shabd Yoga. When you say Kabir Surati Yoga Santain, Kabir is identified with the teacher of Surati Yoga Santain. And he taught Dharmadas this, he gave Dharmadas this teaching of Surati Yoga Santain, how to channel your consciousness within and experience the music of the divine melodies within. And through that, Dhani Ram Das was able to get the vision of Satlok by focusing his consciousness, by absorbing his consciousness in the word. So the bhajan is pretty long. I wouldn't give you a full explanation, but this is the gist. Okay? So I now present Shamu, one of our very, very divine singer with a divine voice, who will do justice to the meaning of this bhajan. Boliye Sarguru Kabir Sahib ki.
Guru Govind do khare काके लागू पाए बलिहारी गुरु आपकी जिन गोविंद दियो बताए
आवाज हो रही झील कोई सुनता है गुरु ज्ञानी गगन में आवाज हो रही झील गगन में आवाज हो रही झील कोई सुनता है गुरु ज्ञानी गगन में आवाज हो रही झील पहले होता नाद बिंदु से फिर जमाया पानी फिर जमाया पानी पहले होता नाद बिंदु से फिर जमाया पानी फिर जमाया पानी सब घत पूरन पूर रहा है आदि पुरुष निर्वाणी कोई सुनता है गुरु ज्ञानी गगन में आवाज हो रही झीली
गगन में आवाज हो रही झीली
जो तन पाया पता लिखाया कृष्णा नहीं भुलानी कृष्णा नहीं भुलानी जो तन पाया पता लिखाया कृष्णा नहीं भुलानी कृष्णा नहीं भुलानी अमृत छोड़ विषय रस छापा उल्टी भास फसानी कोई सुनता है गुरु ज्ञानी गगन में आवाज हो रही झीली ओ हम सो हम बाजा बाजे त्रिकुटी सुन्न समानी त्रिकुटी सुन्न समानी ओ हम सो हम बाजा बाजे त्रिकुटी सुन्न समानी त्रिकुटी सुन्न समानी पिंगला सुषमन साधो सुन ध्वजा पहरानी कोई सुनता है ज्ञानी गगन में आवाज हो रही झीनी। धीर बंदी हम नजरों से देखा अजर अमर निशानी, अजर अमर निशानी। धीर बंदी हम नजरों से देखा अजर अमर निशानी, अजर अमर निशानी। कहे कबीर सुनो भय साधु, कहे कबीर सुनो भय साधु, यही यार की वाणी कोई सुनता है गुरु ज्ञानी। गगन में आवाज हो रही झीनी, गगन में आवाज हो रही झीनी। कोई सुनता है गुरु ज्ञानी, गगन में आवाज हो रही झीनी, गगन में आवाज हो रही झीनी, गगन में आवाज हो रही झीनी। बोलिए सतगुरु कबीर साहिब की जय।
Thank you very much, Shamu, Bahenji, for doing justice to this bhajan. Sahib always tell us about bhajan singing. He say you have to live and experience the bhajan inside of you. When he speaks about Saki, he say, Antara yehi bichariya, Saki kahe Kabir. He say, Sadhguru Kabir Sahib makes a declaration, experience it inside, rather than just talking about it from the top of your head. So, the bhav, the bhajan bhav, he said you must try to understand the bhajan. The Hindi is Hindi, but try to understand what you're singing, and then it gives you a special feeling, a bhav. And she, her voice and the way it was presented was really, really nice and enjoyable. And I almost became emotional thinking about my Sahib. So, this point in time, we traditionally, if you know SKN, Dinesh will know SKN, we always have Dinesh Sahib, we always have Prakash Ananda from different organizations, maybe Devrat Sahib of the Kendra, Raviji, Sister Himlata. But we said, let's hear some young people this time, because Sahib was futuristic. He believed in the young people, as you will see in one of the items that are going to be presented. And you will see what the future of Kabirpant lies. So, and Sahib, when he started the Live Arena, he built a special relationship with the Ramdas Ashram. And the Ramdas Ashram needs no introduction. They are a force to reckon with in the practice of the Vidhi and the Vidhan of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib. So, Diane here will just come and bring a few words and greetings and also share her thoughts on Sahib's contribution into this very, very divine pathway that he has chosen and executed so very well. So I call Dian Polchan. So.
Bandagi Sahib, on behalf of the Ramdas Ashram, I would like to make a short verbal contribution on Sri Mahant Dr. Devchand Das Sahib, known simply as Sahib. What made Sahib one in a million? His faith and devotion to God. That he gave comfort and refuge to the most needy at their weakest moments. He never judged, criticized, or turned anyone away. You did not have to be a devotee or even known to him. When you needed the services of a guru, he made himself present. With prayer, patience, understanding, and love. He provided the answers to problems and restored hope in a defeated spirit. He was a life changer. We can all agree his presence in a room changed the entire atmosphere. The atmosphere changed because his presence brought out the goodness and the love in all of us. You felt calm and at peace, where your anger and troubles would just become trivial and unimportant. How could someone have that divine presence? It comes from a lifetime of resilient devotion, faith, and service to God. All forms of God. Sahib showed sincere and humble respect to all religions and beliefs. It comes from his detachment of this world, as he showed no interest in worldly possessions and achievements. Sahib may not be physically present, but his teachings and lessons live on in all of us. It is our responsibility to carry forward these teachings by practicing it and teaching it to the younger ones, who today are so troubled and in need of guidance. For us to be supportive and show patience to our family, our friends, our neighbors, and co-workers in the way Sahib showed it to us. It is needed more now than ever in these difficult times that we live in. In closing, I would like to read this paragraph on humility from the Kabir Vani. There is no ignorance of cruelty, complexity, or inertness in humility. Rather, it shines in the brilliance of sweetness, of compassion and love, simplicity, attitude of rendering one's service to others, and austerity. It possesses the beauty of quietude, seriousness of patience, and the greatness of forgiveness. This paragraph was chosen because if I had to describe Sahib in one word, I would choose the word humility. In putting my words together to speak of Sahib, I found it to be very intimidating and difficult, not because of a lack of material or inspiration, but simply out of fear of not doing justice to his legacy. Bandagi Sahib.
You know, when you mention something of somebody, sometimes when you have doubt, who is that person is talking about? But when you label Sahib with all those qualities, you know who you are talking about. Because Sahib's life was his example. You know, one of the things I was speaking about Guru Shishya Rahini and the relationship between Guru and disciple. Early in my life, I used to read autobiography of a yogi and all these books that sort of describes what is that relationship between a guru and disciple, the true relationship. How will it actually be? It's only when I met Sahib, I realized and I understood what that relationship really is and how Sadhguru Kabir Sahib and Dhani Dharamdas, that type of relationship. I've always spoken about this, about Sahib's humility. Whenever we praise Sahib, he will always say, praise his teachers, don't praise him. He never takes praise. And that is one thing I always try to practice, although difficult, The ego always takes over. You think that you know. And Sahib never boasts. You will never hear him ill-speaking another Sahib or anybody else. Never. He has been His behavior was constant, never changed, unshaken. So brothers and sisters, this item I think will be sort of the highlight of this program, because it is what Sahib spent his lifetime preaching and teaching. He was a teacher. And he always said that little children, when they're given trouble in satsang, he asked the parents, you walk with a little sweetie? Put a little sweetie in him out now, and give him a little shak to play. All these children here who are going to perform on the next item, they are either great-grandchildren of Sahib, and most of them are Shishyas. They have been initiated by Sahib. So you have about 3 different generations here involved in this. Right, Shaman? There's about 3 different generations of Chelas of Sahib involved in this item. You know, he will always tell you, and you know, he has this catchy phrase, because you know Sahib grew up in England. He said repetition is the secret of education. And then he gives you a saki to correspond. Karat abhyasa ko jar mati hota sujan rasi awat jatate silpal parat nishan. He said by repetition. Kabir Sahib was a psychologist, was a yoga psychologist, without even going to a university, and he knew how the mind functions. He said by repetition, even the jarmati, the dull-witted person or the hard-headed person will learn something if you keep repeating it, right, Sahib? And one thing he always shared in his satsang, he said, this Henry Longfellow, Uncle Harry and Auntie will know, they are English men and English women in our midst. He said, the great heights that men achieve and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. Okay? So you can't achieve anything by sudden flight. The Sahibas always say, you have to go through the baking, you know. And what he says, there's a guru, Saki said, the guru is like the Sahib is like a potter. He has his hand inside the pot, right? Squeezing and shaping it, and outside he's knocking you. He's giving you the hard discipline. Okay? So that's the way Sahib. So I now want to present the next generation of Kabir Panths, and I will call the person who was, I would say, instrumental in really directing, coming up, designing this, and coming up with the arrangements for this, supported by some really talented musicians, and we have in our youth segment of our organization. So I call on Benji Sharon Bipat to really narrate what this item is all about and really direct it. We call her the drama queen. She always has a drama, written drama.
Bandagi Sahib, thank you for that little funny introduction. I am the drama queen. Satyanam. Wherever we see Sadhguru Kabir Sahib portrayed, whether in pictures or sculptures or in any other form, the word Satyanam is prominent. When we say this word from our lips, it may sound like an ordinary word. But in the teachings of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib, Satyanam is the name of the ultimate truth, which is unspoken and which is in each and every one of us. All we truly need is our Guru to unlock it. This bhajan, Naam Saneha Nachari, Bhave Tan Man Dhan Jari Jai Ho. This body that we love so much, this mind that leads us away in the world of the senses, and all our worldly wealth, achievements, and even our relationships will leave us one day. The only thing that we can truly rely on is Satyanam. I now invite you to listen to this enchanting rendition by this group of talented kids and young adults, and let yourself be swept away as they remind us of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib's message to not let a single moment pass without glorifying the divine. Satyanam. Bandagi Sahib.
Don't ever forsake your relationship with Nam, no matter if your mind or wealth or your body is destroyed.
Swasha swasha mein na male, prita swash mati koi, na jane yah swasha ko, awe no hoy no hoy.
With every breath, there should be the recollection of the secret name, and not a single breath should be wasted. Four, one. Never. Dos. What do we do?
पानी से पैदा किया नक्श कशीश बनाए पानी से पैदा किया नक्श कशीश बनाए वह साहिब को भी सारिया तेरे कानों होठ सहाय नाम स्नेहन छाड़िए भवे तन मन धन जड़ी जाए हो
From water, this body was created. Eyes, head, toes, nose, etc. were made from this water. You have forgotten the Sahib, who is your only rescue.
Adi Purusha Vichal Tuhi, Chala Chali Sansa, Ajan Nam Prabhu Tumahi Ho, Edi Vyaji Guruja.
You are the face and chinless being of the day. forever changing, and yours is eternal name, who paints away all the mental and affliction.
महल चुने खाई कने ऊंचे ऊंचे धाम, महल चुने खाई कने ऊंचे ऊंचे धाम। जब यम बैठे कंठ में तेरे कोई न आवेगा, नाम स्नेहन छाड़िए भावे तन मन धन जड़ जाय हो।
You have created a place from the earth with lofty rooms, but when death to your throat comes to you, no one avails.
Ray naki bichari, chakavi, animile parapat. Jo jan bichuri, namaso, divas mile nahirat.
The female ruddy goose, separated from her mate at night, still meets with him again at dawn. But he who is separated from the Naam of the Sadguru cannot meet with him again, neither in the day nor the night.
मात पिता सुत बांधवा और दुलारी नार, मात पिता सुत बांधवा और दुलारी नार। यह सब हिल मिल बिछुड़े तेरी शोभा है दिन चार, नाम स्नेहन छाड़िए भावे तन मन धन जड़ जाय हो।
Mother, father, son, relatives, and your dear wife, all of these which come and go for your value is only for 4 days.
Tumo ben kisi hoi ho, chinta rahit achint. Amara padara diji, amara namanishtant.
Without you, however, I am free from worry and case. Grant your eternal blessings and the secret of eternal name, so I can be eternally free.
जैसे लागी ओर से दिन दिन दूरी प्रीत, जैसे लागी ओर से दिन दिन दूरी प्रीत। नाम कबीर न छाड़िए भावे हार होई की जीत, नाम स्नेहन छाड़िए भावे तन मन धन जड़ जाय हो।
The same love, the same day-to-day love with the everyday world. The same power must be inverted in Naam, says Kabir, no matter what.
धनी ऊपर धर्मदास है, सत्य नाम की टेक। रहिता पुरुष कबीर है, चलता है सब भेक।
Dharmadas is foremost among the fortunate to be entrusted with the true name. Relying completely on Sadguru Kabir Sahib, for by his grace, the spiritual path is maintained.
नाम स्नेहन छाड़िए भावे तन मन धन जड़ जाय हो। नाम स्नेहन छाड़िए हो, नाम स्नेहन छाड़िए भावे तन मन धन जड़ जाय हो। नाम स्नेहन छाड़िए भावे तन मन धन जड़ जाय हो। नाम स्नेहन छाड़िए भावे तन मन धन जड़ जाय सदगुरु कबीर साहिब की पंच श्री हजूर साहिब की महंत श्री देवचंद दास साहिब की जय।
Take your time. Your dress hook up. I think they deserve one more round of applause, please. For those who have to say anything or do anything after this one, you may not get that type of accolade, okay? So let's move on. We want to thank Sharon and these kids tremendously. I think they have done justice to Sahib's mission. If not anything, they have done justice to that. This is how, like I said, the Guru implants his immortality in all of us. So now I want to present to you a message from Mahadev Ramlal. And the Ramlal family is a family that Sahib spent many, many years. Dev Ramlal had the opportunity to travel with Sahib to India alone, both of them alone, when Sahib wasn't so well. We were very worried. And Sahib went and gave a message. And in Maghar, he was telling them, they said and they worried when I was coming here. And look, I here. And that's when Hajur Sahib walked. How many miles he will tell you. From Kashi to Maghar. He wanted to know what felt and what was the experience that Kabir Sahib did when he walked from Kashi to Maghar, when he made his final ascension from this earthly plane. So I present to you Mahadev Ramlal, a great, great devotee of our Guruji, Mahadev Devchand Das Ji Sahib.
Good. Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Bandagi Sahib, I bow to the lotus-like feet of the Guru, ocean of compassion and all forgiving. I offer my humblest of salutation to Sadguru Kabir Sahib, Panch Shri Ardhanam Sahib, to Guru Mataji, our beloved mom, President of the Satya Kabir Nidhi, Mahant Prem Das, Mahants, specially invited guests, respected elders, brothers and sisters. I am humbled today to speak about my experience of our beloved Mahant Sri Dr. Devchand Das Sahib Ji. It will be a monumentous task to condense over 35 years in this short time. It is said in one of Sadguru Kabir Sahib Sakis, should I make the whole earth into paper, all the trees into pen, and the 7 seas into ink, the true qualities of the Guru cannot be described. Therefore, it was decided to extract a minute facet, or rather a hair grain, to speak about him today. And this message was entitled, or is entitled, A Contemporary the capacity of a modern leader, a contemporary leader, because he's a true representation of what I think leadership should be in an ever-changing society. You know, as I recall Sahib's teaching, sometimes he said, when, the voice stops, right, it's because the heart melts, and, it normally flows through your eyes, right? And the voice basically stopped talking. It is such an emotional, point for me for having a guru that, was there as a friend. And of course, I know he's no more in the form, and he's formless. And really, his presence is always there. And of course, we all miss that form, right? We all miss that connection. So, my Guruji, lovingly called Sahib, is a person who always makes everyone feel important. It doesn't matter your stature or where you came from. He always finds a way to connect with everyone and embrace not just his belief, but others as well. He exemplifies togetherness and unity, a mark of a true leader. But what I find most amazing is his diplomacy and tact. And I'm not sure if it's generational or the period in which he was raised. But when he has to correct you or disagrees, he does it so effortlessly that he makes his point without making you feel bad or letting you know. However, in doing so, he keeps his humor and always had you laughing. This is the mark of a true leader. That's our Sahibji. I never had seen him angry or upset. The Guru sees our imperfection, holds our hand, and helps us to improve. It is said in one of our Sakis that we should bow over and over again to the Guru, do millions of salutations to him, for he makes the disciple equal to himself as a wasp converts the innocent womb. What is perhaps even greater is that he comes from a fundamental era, being born right before the start of World War II, seeing Trinidad and Tobago gain independence and becoming a republic nation, and of course, the advancement of technology. And yet, he kept up to date. He was very tech savvy. He always ensures he used a computer and fancy gadget whenever he could. His power of adapting to change is a true mark of a great leader. On a personal note, Sahib is more than just a guru, but like a father figure and a true friend. He taught me to drive and introduced me to many life skills during my stay at the Satya Kabir Ashram in Makbeen. I was fortunate to be in his company and served him during his last trip to India when he was 88 years old. A memory I will cherish forever. My family, especially my parents, he inspired them and gave them strength, and almost anything we do at home, almost anything, whether starting a new venture or education, Sahib was always placed first. It was as if Sahib already knew, and sometimes I felt he knew what we were thinking and gave us answers before we could even ask a question. It's the mark of a true guru, one who understands the silent language of his disciple. In closing, I try not to speak about Sahib in the past, as I feel he is with us present. So, whilst he is missed physically, I know his grace is continuous. We love you, Sahib. Shri Mahant Devchanda Sahib ki Jai. Thank you, Bangi Sahib.
Okay, brothers and sisters, I have so much paper. I'm like a paper tiger, shuffling papers. It's all about Sarabjit, So, at this point in time, we have a very important item. And I have before me here this book here. And this is a brochure, and in discussion of what can we give as a gift to all the people, all the families who come today to commemorate Sahib's first Punyatithi. And a lot of things were tossing around. We had a group where we just always discussion, hundreds of emails. And we finally, thought of this amongst all the other suggestions. And this is a brochure with several messages by many of the devotees who Sahib came in contact with both locally and abroad. And there are about 32 shaman, I think, somewhere around there, 32 messages there. And I had a chance to read my own message. It really actually got me emotional when I read it. Because I was thinking really clearly what I was saying, by reading it. And it calls for really wonderful and leisure reading. So we'll want you all to have one of this. And I want to read a part of a message by Devrat Sahib, the Dharmacharya of the Kabir Panth Association. And just a part of that message where he said, I end my message to just describe my brother in the simplest form. And, he said D-O-C-H-A-N. And at every letter, he gave a description in his mind of how he saw Sahib. He says, D, devoted to Sadguru, the family, and those seeking enlightenment. E, an enlightened soul. O, ordinary, living a simple life, optimistic about people and given situation. C, courageous, calm, and caring. H, humble being. A, adored by family and devotees. Adventurous, accomplished. N, nurturing, especially to the younger generations. So beautifully put. I want to, Dinesh, make sure Sahibji has one of these copies. So these will be presented to each family who comes here. And maybe you might, if you're lucky, might get an extra copy. And also it will be sent to our devotees in Toronto, Florida, New York, Texas, and other parts of the world. Okay, so in tribute to Sahib, I want to ask Prem Sahib. And I want to also thank Amrita, who did the artwork for this, all free of charge. Okay, and I think it's a beautiful book, really nice pages, and wonderful artwork inside the pages. So I want to present this to Mom as the first copy to be presented. We got it straight from the printers. So I'm going to ask Prem Sahib, who played a big role in preparing this book, editing and all that, and typesetting and formatting. So I'll present it to Prem Sahib, and please deliver this book, in commemoration of Sahib's first Punyatithi as a tribute to him. To present this for Mom.
Good. Can I say a word?
Yes, sure.
Yes. Thank you, Sahib. I'll save my talks for later. But I just wanted to mention to you all that this book, this memento, as it is referred to officially, would not have been possible, not only from the time and effort spent by the people who submitted their contributions, but without the very hard work of my sister Shamin and her niece-in-law Amrita. Amrita is the sister of Amit Dukram, who I'm sure most of you are aware is not well at the moment. So she spent a lot of time going between those duties and this book, and we were so happy to have it for today. It was only collected yesterday. And if we, in any way, missed anything in getting this collection ready, I would like to apologize on behalf of everybody who was involved. There's so many things going on, and I'm sure we would have made, some error somewhere. And if there are any errors in here, we didn't have enough time to sort out every single error. So there may be some error. Please accept our apologies. So now I'll present this to Mom. And Mom, apologies to you too for all these errors and misgivings. Okay, thank you. Bangi Sahib.
So, brothers and sisters, the first message in this book is from Panchri Hajur 1008 Ardanam Sahib. And I will ask Karen Day to read Hajur Sahib's message.
Bandagi Sahib. Revered Mahants, beloved Mom, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Bandagi Sahib, my humblest pranam at the feet of Hajur Sahib. It gives me great pleasure to give voice to the message from our esteemed Panchri Hajur 1008 Ardanam Sahib. Sahib Bandagi, he begins. The occasion of Punyatithi is a time to remember and pay obeisance to the great men whose life is full of dedication, perseverance, and ideality. Mahant Devchand Das Ji was one such pious soul. He was one of the most reputed and respected Mahants of Trinidad, and he led many jivas on the path of Kabir Pant, the path of Satya. Punyatithi is a very special occasion, and it is not celebrated for all. This is a day to pay a gift to Mahant Sahib. What else can be a better gift to such dignified Kabir Panthi than all of you all follow the path of Sahib religiously. Listen to his preachings, his Vani and Sakis properly. Contemplate on them and encourage the new generation to join the mainstream Kabir Pant. This can only be done if Sadguru Kabir Sahib's knowledge is made more readily and easily available and understandable. I remember and pay my obeisance to Mahant Sri Devchand Das Ji Sahib from the core of my heart. Your well-wisher, Pant Sri Hajur Ardhanam Sahib, Acharya Kabir Pant, Sadguru Kabir Prakatya, Lahar Tara Varanasi. बोलिए श्री हजूर अर्धनाम साहिब की जय बोलिए साहिब देवचंद दास की जय
Thank you very much, Karande, for reading that message so eloquently. At this point in time, we have another bhajan, and this is going to be by members of the Satya Kabir Nidhi Bhajan Mandali. So, Choki, Premdas, Ankit. Shaman Sharon. So this bhajan it was supposed to be a choir-like item, but we thought that we will sit and do it. While you organize, I will give you a gist of what this bhajan means. I'm a part of this item, right? I was hoping that they forgot, and they actually did. So this is Ya Bidi Man Ko Lagai. Man Ko Lagai Prabhu Pave. It says that this is the way to focus the mind by which God realization is possible. And Sadhguru Kabir Sahib gives some examples, you know, and our Gurujis always give this example, you know, in India, the women go and they fetch water at the well. So they have a pot, a clay pot filled with water in their head, and they have a bundle of something here, and they're holding a little child, right? And they never lose sight and awareness that they're carrying this thing on their head. So they have to balance their way. And remember, Sai was talking about surati conscious, connecting your consciousness to the word. It means what you call swati concentration, so that to keep your mind on the goal and do not get carried away. And the last verse here says, like the steadfast devotee, ignoring the ingredients, the flower and the candle and other ritualistic material, with the mind fixed on the significance of the arati, Kabir says, listen, O brother, even you will not have to return to this world again.
सुरती फंसी संसार में कहूँ कहाँ हो जाए द्वार न पावे शब्द का फिर भटका खाए चढ़त बांस पर
ढोलिया ढोल बजावे
जैसे नटवा चढ़त बांस पर
ढोलिया ढोल बजावे
ढोलिया ढोल बजावे अपना बोझ धरे सिर ऊपर अपना बोझ धरे सिर ऊपर
सुरति भरत पर लावे मन को लगावे प्रभु पावे
जैसे भुजंगम चरत बनहि में,
ओस छात न आवे।
जैसे भुजंगम चरत बनहि में,
ओस छात न आवे। ओस छात न आवे।
कबहु छाटे कबहु मन चितवे, कबहु छाटे कबहु मन चितवे,
मन तज प्राण गवावे।
मन तज प्राण गवावे, मन को लगाए प्रभु पावे। जैसे कामिनी भरे कूप जल,
कर छोरे बरतावे।
जैसे कामिनी भरे कूप जल,
कर छोरे बरतावे।
ओ
कर छोरे बरतावे।
अपना रंग सखियन संग राचे, अपना रंग सखियन संग राचे,
सुरति गगर पर लावे।
सुरति गगर पर लावे, मन को लगाए प्रभु पावे। धूप दीप नैवेद्य अड़ग जा,
ज्ञान की आरती लावे।
धूप दीप नैवेद्य अड़ग जा,
ज्ञान की आरती लावे।
ओ
ज्ञान की आरती लावे।
कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, फिर जन्म नहीं पावे, फिर जन्म नहीं पावे। या विधि मन को लगावे, मन को लगाए प्रभु पावे, मन को लगाए प्रभु पावे, मन को लगाए प्रभु पावे। बोलिए सद्गुरु कबीर साहिब की जय।
Thank you very much, Satya Kabir Nidhi Bhajan Mandali. I now call on Akshay, who will read one of the messages from J Sahib. We thought we will read the messages from people who are not here, some of the foreigners. And J Sahib, J Sahib, of the head of the Kabir Association of Toronto, has been a big, I would say, affiliate of our Guruji. And also is a shaker and a mover of the Kabirpan movement in Toronto and globally. So I now call on Akshay, who will read this message from Mahanji Sahib. You get the page? Yeah.
Mangi Sahib. Not everyone can be honored with the presence of a great Messiah in his life. Great souls who come to deliver the message of God to us mark our lives forever. Such a great soul was the late Mahant Sri Deochan Das Sahib, who set himself on a mission to awaken people in the West Indian communities settled in the Caribbean, the US, and Canada. Undoubtedly, he has a special gift as he could hear the forsaken devotees call from far away. If there is one thing that stands out in the mission of this unrivaled saint from the islands, it would be his readiness to attend the devotees, regardless of their geographical locations, financial conditions, or religious affiliations. As we commemorate this first anniversary of the passing of Mahant Sri Deochand Das Sahib, I would like to reflect on the special merit of his, which not at all is a commonality of this day and age. In many ways, Mahant Sri Deochand Das Sahib embodied principles of Sadguru Kabir Sahib. Sadguru Kabir Sahib, known for his boldness against discrimination based on race, caste, status, position, or other social denominations. Mahant Sri Deochand Das Sahib overtly displayed these stands and never discriminated among whoever approached him for advice or service. As a Mahant, he never reined against his mission for kept forging ahead, regardless of many obstacles that come his way from all sides. He was bent on practicing his faith and instructing others so that they could better understand Sadguru Kabir Sahib's teachings. This is how he did not allow any borders to limit or reach his devotees who were in dire need of the instructions and guidance. His mission came first, no matter what. No financial constraint would stop him from touring the West and being at the disposal of devotees in their needs. He did not discriminate between devotees at home and those abroad. He would attend to everyone with the same enthusiasm and vigor. He also published books to put Sadguru Kabir Sahib's teachings in context and to provide simplified explanation to his devotees on the rites and rituals and the philosophy of his spiritual path, and to provide a broader perspective of the world's religions. If he is remembered today with such reverence, not only in the West Indies, but also in India, in US, and in Canada, it is due to his relentless efforts to give devotees what he strongly believed was their due. Being always at the disposal of devotees abroad is a dedication to the noble cause he subscribed to. His wife, Hashimina Das, also has been instrumental to the success of his mission and will always be held in high esteem for her unflinching support in this regard. He is dearly missed by his devotees and will be remembered for many, many years to come. Future generations may regret not having known him personally, but his praises will be sung by his contemporaries and preserved for posterity. He will live on in the hearts of Kabir Panths forever. On my behalf, on behalf of my family, and on behalf of Torontonian Kabir Panths, I would like to convey my warmest regards to the family and devotees as they commemorate Mahant Sri Deochand Das Sahib's first anniversary with a special remembrance event. Hail Deochand Das Sahib, Mangi Sahib.
Thank you very much, Akshay, for eloquently read. So at this point in time, we'll be launching another book. You know, when we had a 6 months commemoration, I don't know how many people were there, I had mentioned, or myself and Prem Sahib, I think also was mentioned, that we are working on a book of 100 sakis of Sahib's favorite saki. You know, Sahib has been doing satsang at my home for 37 years. And due to his involvement in this home in Prisal, emerged in what you call the Wednesday satsang. And many of the sakis that Sahib would have shared, very rare sakis, you wouldn't hear them anywhere. And sometimes Sahib will just remember the saki. You know, he goes into this, he has this repository of sakis in his mind, yet you don't know where he gets it from. And that was a measure of the span and the depth of Sahib's thinking. You know, how far-reaching his thoughts were. And he used saki. And he always mentioned, Anta de yehi bichariya, saki kahi kabir. Saki is not for just mere recitation, but Sadhguru Kabir Sahib makes a declaration and says, think of it inside. Think of it inside. And when you experience it, then you can really speak about it. मैं कहता तू आँखें देखी तू कहता का गज की लेखी. Sadhguru Kabir Sahib in the bhajan, Mera Tera Manua, he said, I am speaking of what I see, and you are speaking of what is written in paper. So Sahib also always tell us, believe nothing of what you hear, because the ears don't have eyes, right? Only half of what you see, right? And all of what you yourself experience. One day, I saw that written in some bookstore. I went. I said, well, Sahib, he's on point. And also for Saki, he's the one who explained what a Saki is. He says, Sakshi anki gyanaki samaj deka manamai bin Saki sansaraki jagra jhutatanahi. Jagra means quarrel. All the quarrels in the world is because you yourself didn't see something and you are talking about it. Right? So he says, Sakshi, you have to be an eyewitness and witness with the eye of wisdom. You know, Sakshi is a word, means witness. Right? So Saki is founded etymologically in the word Sakshi. That's how Saki. So it really means witness. So Sadhguru Kabir Sahib was, whatever he spoke of is what he himself experienced. What we speak of is probably comes on the top of our head, repetitive. So that's how Sahib is to look at a Saki, and that's how he taught us what a Saki is, and how we should really study a Saki, every word, and really what Kabir Sahib is saying. So that book, Saki Sangraha, is 50% completed. We thought we would have had it for this event. The Hindi has already been completed. It's 100. Hajur Sahib helped with editing the Hindi, because, and what's that? 101. Yes, 101, sorry. So it's 101 Sakis. And these Sakis were compiled over years, right? And also to his biography is also maybe some percent completed. So at another event, we will launch these two books in his name. But today, we want to, this is a relaunch of this book, Salutations and Devotions to Guru. Okay? And this book has its genesis going back many, many years ago. I remember when this book was 2 pieces of paper, doing satsang, mom used to type up some Sakis, and you have reading from the Bhagavad Gita, reading from the Bible, reading from the Holy Quran, reading from the Ramayana. That's how our satsang books was a long time, with a few pages. It had another, in its first incarnation was a little different from this. But in trying to launch or sort of let people know about Sahib's work, Sahib and Mom's work, we thought we will get together and edit this book and make some addition and make it look a little more prettier. How does it look? Looks good, right? Right. The other one also looks good, right? So this is another book. And Salutations, we had some additions. We add some pictures with Sahib and his gurus, right? You have Jugal Das Ji Sahib, Jagadas, and Merhe Das Ji Sahib. So, and of course, our Devchan Das Ji Sahib here, looking very, very wonderful and glowing, right? We added several things, Namucharan, we added a pronunciation guide, and some things that our Sahib wrote himself about Sadhguru Kabir Sahib. We also added, and we sort of reformatted and the sequencing and how we actually do satsang. And this resembles a lot how Hajur Sahib does satsang in India. So this book will be available. We have limited copies for families who are actually doing satsang and who will use it. It's not just for taking the book, but if you can use it and you build your satsang within your family, one will be given free of charge, of course. Okay? So thanks. I will ask Prince Sahib also to present this book, right, in dedication of the work of our beloved Guruji. Come on.
Okay, Pangi Sahib. While Kumar Sahib was talking, just a thought ran through my mind, a few thoughts. But, you know, having reached 65, they come in and go out. This presentation, Mom did so much work on these books, all Sahib's written things. And I don't know who assisted her. I didn't. I was otherwise engaged. And it is really we wanted to maintain as much of the original as possible and just try to make it, to bring it up to date and have a more durable booklet that could be used. So, and also we needed to have more copies. Every time we go somewhere, one would be given to the family, and we ended up not having many. So these were printed. So it is my honor to carry out this duty for you, Saib.
So at the end of the program, if you need a copy of this book, you could check Shaman. Shaman will be the one who will distribute these books. So brothers and sisters, in case you're wondering if we are going too long, yes, we have overstepped our time already. But that's because we measure and we arrange our timing based on the interest of the audience. And I see that we have captured. We have such captivating performances and presentations and speeches that you seem like you do want to go home today. So we'll keep you just a bit longer, right, Shaman? Right? So we have just about 3 items here. And I want to call on the president of the Satya Kabir Nidhi now to bring a message. And usually he doesn't bring long messages, usually. And he has a way of summarizing everything. So I will ask him, it would be remiss of me not to ask him to say a few words on this very, very special occasion. And thereafter, we will have the slide presentation and then our vote of thanks. So we're coming close to ending this program. We started about 5 minutes late because we were just waiting for the hall to get filled. And surprisingly, the hall is filled to capacity. Okay, so Prince Sahib.
Okay, Bangi Sahib. So, a few years ago, Sahib and I went to a wake. And there's a lot of singing. There was a young group there. And they were very vibrant. Beautiful songs. When I say they had, how we had guitar and all of that there? A whole lot of youth on the stage in a wake. I think they were involved with the Isha organization. And Sahib was from the area, down Calcutta and so on. And after the singing, lovely singing, so they asked Sahib to say a few words. So the first thing Sahib said, "Well, I'm now feeling like a dead." He ready to go. Because after all the singing, he was feeling so happy that this is what could happen in a wake. And if his wake was like that, well, great. So let me start by, I typed it out, so then if I read, I can't go too long, right? So first I want to say that what I will say here, you cannot take as the absolute truth, because you really don't know the absolute truth. But it just be my interpretation or opinion of the events. So, esteemed guests, family members, devotees, it is a pleasure and our very good fortune, only through Guru's grace, that we could be together on this auspicious occasion of the first Punyatithi, or in English, Ascension Anniversary, for Pitashri, Guruji Mahant Shri 108 Devchand Das Ji Sahib. And I just pause to remind everyone that I am just a son. There are others who are more capable than me to follow in these footsteps. So in this Punyatithi, we are commemorating and honoring the life of someone dear to us. And gathering like this allows us to reflect on and serves as a reminder of the impact Sahib has, I say has and not had, on our lives. Because as lovely as it may have been, this is not to be a trip down memory lane. Talking about the good old times, that has a benefit. It has a benefit. And we are happy for that. And neither is this a ritual for the benefit of Sahib's onward journey. It is the first time that we have organized a function for an occasion like this. And we sincerely apologize for any shortcomings in organizing and presenting this. I want to say that again. We apologize to anybody who felt we missed them out, we didn't treat them well, we didn't include them. It was not our intention. And I just take that moment to emphasize that point. It is our prayer that this opportunity presents an opportunity to remind ourselves of those things we have experienced directly with or from Sahib, and which we would find benefit in continuing. That meant satsang. Sahib always explored the messages left for us by Sadguru Kabir Sahib, as well as other saints, and he would regularly remind us of the journey of the soul. Where have we come from? Where are we going? And how do we get there? Sahib would often remind us of the famous verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Najayate mriyate va kadachit, nayam bhutva bhavita va nabhuya, ajo nityah shashvatoyam puranam, nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Which means, loosely, the soul is not born, nor does it die. It is eternal, unborn, ancient. Even though the body is perishable, the soul is not. When we die, it is our body that returns to its former state. It is matter, but our mind and soul remain. Sahib's body has passed, but he has not. According to our tradition, he is Satlokvasi, meaning he now fully exists in Satlok. He has attained moksha. His body was interred at Presal Cemetery, but his soul is here and now. The soul does not die. This is accepted in many traditions. Our Sahib is here and now. Moko kaha dhoonde bande, maito tere paas mein. The last year has been a mixture of moments of sadness, contemplation, and surrender. On behalf of Sahib and Mum, and the devotees associated with him, I appeal to you. Let us use this occasion of Punyatithi to draw strength from his legacy. Let us acknowledge his positive contribution and use it to better our lives. As he used to say, make our lives sublime. Sahib had a special phrase he held close to his heart. From the same gold, many ornaments are made. We are all souls, Hansas, part of the Supreme Satpurush. The importance of Guru cannot be overvalued. If we don't have our children become familiar with a mentor early in life, it becomes difficult to change learned habits later on. Children can go astray very easily, as we see happening in our schools. Without good parents and teachers, this will for a large part bring sorrow and possibly disaster. We cannot learn spirituality in schools because there are very few teachers with that experience. So we must depend on spiritual adepts for this, the gurus. Each one of us here today holds a unique bond with Sahib, a family member, a friend, a colleague, a devotee, a Mahants. Let us recognize that our presence here is testimony to the impact that Sahib had on each of us. Let us recall those qualities we are asked to embrace by Satguru Kabir Sahib. The 16 qualities of the soul, like simplicity, contentment, patience, my favorite one, kindness, compassion, unwavering love, part of my name, and let his influence continue to inspire us and guide us on our own life's journey. Let us at least try to embrace every moment, cherishing our relationships and spreading love and positivity wherever we go. So before I say Sahib Bangi, I forgot in the beginning to say esteemed guests, Mahants, and all those senior ones present here, to all of you. I say thank you for coming, and Sahib Bandagi.
Thank you very much, Prem Sahib, for those wonderful thoughts. At this point in time, video presentation. I would like Prem Sahib to get the screen. He told us it's only him alone will get that screen down. So, because there's some technique he has to use. And while he does that, I will share just one or two words that caught me during my time spent with Hajur Sahib over the years. And Prem Sahib said, you know, whenever anybody calls Sahib to do satsang, he has this expression. He said, "Jahan jeev pukare, tahan kosi dare." Wherever the jiva calls, you have to go. You can't think about my foot hurting me, boy, I have transport. So wasn't Sahib is to call, I said, "Sahib, where are you going? Where are we going today?" So I can't say, "Well, Sahib, well, you know, I have time, you know." I just say, where next? You know? And that was attitude. And he served everyone with equal-mindedness, which is a really hallmark of a saintly person. You know, to that effect, he said, "Ek baap ke लाखों बेटे, एक धरती पर धाम, इसमें कौन मुसलमान बाबा, Hindu किसका नाम?" He said, we are all Charan, ek baap, we have one God for millions of Charan, ek dharti par dham. We live on the same earth. Whom shall I call Hindu? Whom shall I call a Muslim? He supports that by saying, Hindu to मैं नहीं, हिंदू का हो तो मैं नहीं, मुसलमान भी नहीं, पांच तत्व की पुतला गैबे खेले माही. He said, if you say I'm a Muslim, Hindu I am not. And if you say I'm a Muslim, certainly I am not. I am that creation of the five primordial elements in which the Supreme One conducts his drama. Those are Sahib words, right? For those two verses of a bhajan. So I will now hand you over to Ankit ji. You ready? Take a moment.
It is with deep reverence, gratitude, and love, family, friends, and devotees, together with Mom, pay tribute to Sahib, lovingly known by many other names. He was a husband, a father, an uncle, a brother, brother-in-law, cousin, grandfather, great-grandfather, and a guru. Sahib, having lived for 93 years plus, has left behind a legacy for future generations. Hopefully, as they reflect upon the immeasurable and infinite words of wisdom and selfless service, they will be inspired to do better, be better, and live better in service to their fellow beings and to the Sadguru. Even though academically he was a qualified naturopath and osteopath, and served in this capacity for some time, he was drawn to a different role. His responsibility as a husband and father, and his many professions of driving instructor, health specialist, and teacher were stepping stones towards a greater purpose.
It must have been a sincere quest that motivated his search for clarity and deeper meaning in the teachings of Satguru Kabir Sahib, that the visit of Huzur Udit Nam Sahib in 1975 was the turning point in his life. With the grace and blessings of Huzur Udit Nam Sahib, the life of selfless service began. From Sangre Grande to Bish, Manzanilla, Icacos, Diego Martin, Williamsville, Princestown, Pinal, and everywhere in between, the teachings of Satguru Kabir Sahib reached devotees through satsangs, yajnas, retreats, and chauka aratis.
Sahib found great joy in being with kids of all ages and was consumed by a passion to help them develop and grow to their full potential. He took a keen interest in the lives of the young ones, and everywhere he went, whether with family, friends, or devotees, he involved the kids in play, work, and devotion. As a result, it was common knowledge that Sahib always had extra people living at his home for extended periods and having visitors in his home at any given time. Christmas holiday retreats at Balandra, Satsang Sammelan at the Ashram, Diwali Sammelan and National Day of Prayer at Gulf City, Satguru Kabir Prakatya and Satguru Kabir Antaradan Divas celebrations were all created and executed with a single purpose: to share a universal teaching of love, unity, and peace with all.
His name is well known in Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, USA, and Canada. He was instrumental in bringing together people of all walks of life, all faiths, creeds, and races, with a simple message of love. Where many dared not tread, Sahib was brave and fearless. Even in his later days, he used to labor on the Sakhi, Prem Gali Ati Sankari.
Prem Gali Ati Sankari. The street of love is so narrow, Dame Do Nasamai, in which two people cannot fit. Jab mai tha, tab kari nahi. When my own program is God is nothing. Ab kari hai, mai nahi. Now God is here, and I am not. So if you can put yourself into that kind of situation, you're very likely you will get a solution to your problem.
Reflecting on this, many devotees expressed their deep gratitude for his presence in their lives, wondering how different their lives would have been without him. The simple teachings of Kabir Sahib was explained to them in simple terms: how to live, how to pray, encouraging them to keep satsangs in their home for the sake of their own upliftment and that of their children. Even when people didn't think they needed his help, Sahib would somehow convince them that they did. A true guru indeed. Guru Kumhar Shishya Kumbh hai, Garhi Garhi Kaad hai Khot, Antar Hath Sahar de, Bahar Bahe Chot. The Guru is the potter, and the disciple is the clay pot. With one hand inside, he supports and cures the flaws, while pounding the pot into shape with the other from the outside.
If all the kids who grew up with Sahib's guidance and advice were to stand before you today, they would all be filled with gratitude that their lives are better because of his presence. Whether it was education, business, jobs, family relationships, sports, politics, almost anything, Sahib could discuss such matters with a wealth of knowledge and expertise. Sahib kept himself updated on technology, current events, science, games, and observed the changing mindset of devotees, especially the younger generations. He went to great lengths to answer their questions about the meaning, validity, and benefits of religious and spiritual practices.
With great expertise, he weaved a web of love, unity, and peace in communities where he lived, and in the hearts of sincere seekers. People felt happy to be in his company, and he made an indelible mark in the lives of all those he came into contact with. His goal was always to give, and give of himself. The desire to acquire wealth, property, name, and fame were absent from his mind, and he, together with Mom and their family, lived a life of simplicity and service.
Even today, there are many who may still comment on his eccentric nature, his unconventional methods, and his unrelenting determination. But ultimately, his ability to see things from a higher perspective brought clarity and profound respect from all.
जाते न पूछो साधु की, पूछ लीजिए ज्ञान, मूल करो तलवार का, परा रहिन दो म्यान. Do not inquire the caste of a sadhu, but rather inquire about his knowledge, just as you check the worth of a sword by the sharpness of the blade, and not the beauty of its case.
On this Punyatithi, we all pay special tribute to a great soul who came in the form of Sri Mahant Devchand Das Ji Sahib, a shining example for us to follow. With the grace and blessings of his parents, Guru, and the love and compassion of the Satguru, he created and left a great legacy of humility, steadfastness, and love. The true tribute is to follow the guidelines and advice that he left for us through the numerous satsangs, yajnas, and the in-depth explanation of the philosophy of Sadguru Kabir Sahib. May his legacy continue to live in our hearts for all times. Bandagi Sahib.
Describe this presentation, and I want to thank especially Sharon and Shamin, Akshay, Ankit, Sunil for putting this together. They spent many hours putting this together, and it came out really beautiful indeed. And it reminds me, when I was looking at it, Sahib used to say, Eka pran doi deha. He was talking about the Guru and the disciple. You know, two bodies but one breath, okay, which is really the essence of the Bringi Mat ideology. When the Guru speaks, you just listen, just like the Bringi, the wasp. Okay, so I will now call on Shaman to do the final part, which is to bring a vote of thanks and to bring words of appreciation as we seek to close this program this evening.
Bandagi Sahib, it is my humble duty this evening
to offer gratitude to all those who have helped to make this program possible. As everyone is aware, it takes a lot of effort and time in the preparation of any event, and this one is no different. Sahib transcended this physical world and gave us, the devotees, family, and friends, an opportunity to pay him special tribute for his selfless and dedicated service over the years. Firstly, we give our very special thanks to Mom for requesting and instructing us to have an event after 1 year of Sahib's passing. All she wanted was that everyone from near and far could join with us, especially as the pandemic had many restrictions for gatherings of this kind in the past, and many were not able to be a part of other events. Mom, thank you for your continued advice and guidance in the way that Sahib would have wanted. Next, we wish to thank the special group recruited to prepare and present this program. They, with the support of their families, worked tirelessly over many weeks to make this event possible. From invitations all the way to food and everything in between, we offer our special thanks, especially to Prem Sahib, Kumar Sahib, and Sudesh, who offered guidance, suggestions, and help to make this possible. Thank you all very much. For the use of this beautiful hall, we wish to thank Sudesh, who volunteered the use of this hall free of charge to host this event. We also thank all those who work behind the scenes to have the hall prepared, from transporting to set up and clean up. All takes time and effort, and we truly appreciate your help. We especially thank the decorators for the stage and decor, the PA and video crew for the sound system and streaming to those who are viewing online, and our dear Rishi Gupta for volunteering to capture this special event with his camera. He will also be available after this session to take group photos if you all wish. It brings a special joy when we see the children and youth perform, and Sahib always enjoyed that also. So we want to give a very big thank you to all the kids who performed this evening. You all are the future, and we see that it is a bright one. We especially thank Sharon Bipat, the coordinator, together with Madhu, Rabina, Ankit, and the rest of the team for coordinating this item. It took the support and help of the parents, online practices, and dedication by all. Thank you all so much for your selfless service and sacrifice. A very hearty thank you to our video presentation group, especially the young adults, Akshay, Rabina, Sunil, and Ankit, who were instrumental in combining the selected photos, designing the slides, adding music and voiceovers, and creating a wonderful and historic summary of the legacy of Sahib. To all the other presenters today, we sincerely thank you for your tributes in bhajans and messages, and we pray that you continue to support in the future with Sadhguru's grace. The 2 books that were released today took a lot of hard work. We especially want to thank Prem Sahib and his crew, who worked tirelessly to gather information, edit messages, fix photos, etc. We thank all those who sent in their messages for this compilation. We were so happy to read about the impact Sahib had on the lives of many. We especially want to thank Amrita Dukram, who, amidst many family challenges and time constraints, was able to prepare the design, cover, and print-ready layout for these booklets. Her contribution to this memento and this devotion booklet is really immeasurable, and we thank her for her continued support. We are indeed so fortunate, blessed, and grateful for the contributions made by many devotees, family, and friends in many other ways. Helping financially, giving of their precious time to assist, making calls, working silently behind the scenes. We want to thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. At least in Trinidad, food is an essential part of any gathering. We want to thank all those who helped in the food preparation and the desserts, and all the serving crew, etc., transport to and from. Thank you so much, and we do hope that you enjoy the meal just coming up shortly. A program without an audience will be incomplete. We pay special thanks to you, our esteemed audience, for being here, and our online audience for joining us in this very special event. We are all fortunate to have you, and may Sadhguru Kabir Sahib continue to bless each and every one of you for attending. And last but not least, we pay our special thanks to our dedicated MC, Mahan Parasuram Dukhi. We know you always attempt to fit a lot into a little. Kumar Sahib, we express our sincere gratitude for your dedication, not only as the MC today, but for your unwavering motivation and vigor in continuing the legacy left behind by our dear Sahib. We thank you, and may you continue to serve with Sadhguru's grace and blessings. Okay, we have come to the end of the thank you, and if I miss out anybody, I wish to thank you all very, very much for helping to make this program possible. Sahib Bandagi.
Amen, for that really eloquent. You think it's like we call Purnahuti. It's complete. It's completed everything so beautifully. So thank you, Shaming, for your gentleness. And also, Prem just reminded me, we must thank Hajur Sahib for his message that he gave, and all because there was a lot of discussion about this program with Hajur Sahib and some of us, and he gave us guidance also. So Hajur Sahib, our koti pranams at your lotus feet, and we thank you very, very much. So, brothers and sisters, we've come to the last part, which is a closing prayer. So please gather your thoughts, your surati, and in the remembrance of our dear beloved Guruji, his legacy, we offer this closing prayer. Namo Shabdarupi Sohe Jagta Karata Dayapal Swami Savekashtarata Vishalam Kripalam Dane Antaryami Videham Swarupam Kabiram Namami Videham Swarupam Kabiram Namami Bandaniye Guru Sahib ko Barambar Karjor Daya Karan Sanse Haran Santarupa Prabitor Mangalamay Mangalakaran Mangalarupa Kabir Dhyana Daratna Shatsakal Karamajanata Bhavapil Bando Sanmukha Sadguru Seshavesha Daruhan Vajana Ucharo Bandagi Satya Prema Ki Sad Charana Bandagi Charana Seva Ajar Mood Vistar Sahib Kabir ko Bandagi Poche Utare Sir Se Bar Kahe Kabir Suno Dharmadas Charana Bandagi Karo Prakas Gyani Dhyani Naga Nirbani Kotari Bandari Kad Darshan चार संप्रदा बावन द्वार चार गुरु बंस पियाल सिकी सकल हंस साहेब बंदगी साहेब बंदगी साहेब बंदगी। बोलिए सतगुरु कबीर साहिब की, सतगुरु कबीर प्राकट्य धाम लरतारा की, धनी धर्मदास साहिब की, चुरामणि नाम साहिब की, सतगुरु कबीर धर्मस्थान करस्या गद्दी की, पंच हजूर ग्रंथ मुनि नाम साहिब की, पंच हजूर प्रकाश मुनि नाम साहिब की, पंच हजूर उर्द नाम साहिब की, पंच हजूर मुकंद मणि नाम साहिब की, पंच हजूर अर्ध नाम साहिब की, संत समाज की, गुरुवर महादेव चंद्र साहिब की, संत महंतों की, आज की आनंद की साहिब बंदगी। So brothers and sisters, we ask you to have dinner with us. We can't have everybody have dinner at the same time. We have limited space. We also have a photo shoot. Will be organized with those wonderful ladies there. They will tell you who will be the photographers and where to stand. And we will have some bhajans, some soulful bhajans. So please enjoy. Don't be hurried to go back home. You're in a good place. I'm talking like how sahibs to talk, right? Okay. And dinner is served now. So at the back, there's 2 stations. And I forgot to tell you, the washrooms are located at the back of me here. And so you can pass on both sides. Okay? So please enjoy the rest of the evening. Okay? And just be happy. Go jolly. So Ankit, Chucky, we'll have some bhajans.
We are having, I specially requested the photo session.
Yeah.
Because in going through some of the photos that we have, we find that we want good quality photos, and also sometimes we miss out events and we miss out certain things that we like to record. So we are having a photo session, and while some people are having meals and we have some light music, we'd like to take some photos with you Sahibs. We'd like to take some photos with the Mahants, with some of the family, devotees and families, so on. So if you could help participate in that, that would be very nice. Thank you. Portrait? Right. Follow. Right. If we could have some help to turn the chairs back to the tables, the ones that are facing inside. We have, so that a number of people could have meals. Also, there is also a guest book on the next to the portrait outside of the door there. If you would like to write a few words on the occasion, you can also make your notes there. And please, if you feel like it, you can share your WhatsApp number or your email address so we could always contact you in the future. I also want to take the opportunity to apologize in case you were getting too many messages. I am known as the person who sends too many WhatsApp messages, but it's only in my attempt to let you know about the events and things that are taking place. So thank you very much. Sahib Bandagi Sahib.
Sound check, sound check. महंत महंत सब कोई कहे, महंत न चीन्हे कोई, जो मन पर असवार वे, महंत कहाँ वे सोए। मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो मेरो यार पाऊं नाम भजन में, जो सुख पाऊं नाम भजन में। सो सुख नाही अमीरी में, सो सुख नाही अमीरी में। मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी। प्रेम नगर में रहन हमारी, प्रेम नगर में रहन हमारी। बलि बलि आई सबूरी में, बलि बलि आई सबूरी में। मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में। मन लागो मेरो यार, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में। मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी। आखिर यह तन खाक मिलेगा, आखिर यह तन खाक मिलेगा। कहाँ फिरत मगरूरी में, कहाँ फिरत मगरूरी में। मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में। मन लागो मेरो यार, मन लागो मेरो यार, मन लागो मेरो यार, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी। कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधु, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधु। साहिब मिले सबूरी में, साहिब मिले सबूरी में। मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी। मन लागो मेरो यार, मन लागो मेरो यार, मन लागो मेरो यार, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में। मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में। बोलो सतगुरु कबीर साहिब की जय। नाम मिलावे रूप को जो जन को दी। Thank you very much. Thank you very much. जब वह रूप हृदय बसे शुरा रहे नहीं कोई। I know him. Yes, I know. He went there in Pinal. नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया तूने नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया सच्चा वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया सच्चा वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया तूने नाम जपन सच्चा वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया सच्चा वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया झूठा जग में जी ललचा कर झूठे जग में जी ललचा कर असल वतन क्यों छोड़ दिया असल वतन क्यों छोड़ दिया औरी को तो कूप संभाला औरी को तो कूप संभाला लाल रतन क्यों छोड़ दिया लाल रतन नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया तूने नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया सच्चा वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया जेहि सुमिरन के अति सुख पावो जेहि सुमिरन के अति सुख पावो जेहि सुमिरन के अति सुख पावो सो सुमिरन क्यों छोड़ दिया क्यों सुमिरन क्यों छोड़ दिया काल सहित भगवान भरोसा काल सहित भगवान भरोसा भगवान काल सहित भगवान भरोसा तन मन धन क्यों न छोड़ दिया तन मन धन क्यों न छोड़ दिया नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया सच्चा वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया सच्चा वचन क्यों छोड़ दिया नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया तूने नाम जपन क्यों छोड़ दिया बोलो सद्गुरुदेव की जय अब क्यों सोवे रे मुसाफिर अब क्यों सोवे रे अब क्यों सोवे रे मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। जाना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। चलना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। अब क्यों सोवे रे मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। अब क्यों सोवे रे मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। चलना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। जाना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। चेतन अचेतन सोच बावरे, बहुत नींद मत सोवे। चेतन अचेतन सोच भावरे, बहुत नींद मत सोवे। काम कोर मर लोभ में पस कर, काम क्रोर मर लोभ में पस कर, कायू मरिया सोवे रे। चलना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। जाना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। अब क्यों सोवे रे मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। जाना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। चलना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे। सिर पर माया मोह की घतेरी, संग धूत तेरी होवे। सिर पर माया संग दूत तेरी होवे। सो घतरी तेरी बीच में चल गई, सो तेरी घत बीच में चल गई, मुँह न पकड़ी कह रोवे रे। चलना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। मरना हो बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। अब क्यों सोवे रे मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। जाना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। चलना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे। नरिया गहरी नाव पुरानी, कही बिरी पार तुवे। नरिया गहरी नाव पुरानी, कहे विधि पार तुवे। कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधु, कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधु, मूल मत को मेरे। चलना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। जाना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। अब क्यों सोवे रे मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। चलना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। जाना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। चलना है बड़ी दूर मुसाफिर, अब क्यों सोवे रे। बोलो सतगुरु कबीर साहिब की जय।